everyone, and welcome to another wrap up. Can you believe that it's March already? That's crazy. Soon it'll be April and then May, and then all of a sudden it'll be New Year's Eve again. Let's not think about that. This is my February wrap up, and I kind of did my TBR, a little bit. The first one was at the top of my list. It was from Blood and Ash. I received it as a birthday present, and I said it was my top because everyone kept talking about it, and boy did it deliver. I loved this book a lot. I did a reading vlog, which I'll post. Really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I admit that the world building was way longer than I anticipated. Normally world building is about 100 pages, but for From Blood and Ash it was about 200 pages, so I almost gave up on it. But because of the fact that it was highly recommended, I just kept trying. It just took longer, which is why I didn't completely finish my TBR. It took me 2.5 weeks to get past the first 200 pages, and then it took me like 12 hours to get through the rest of the 400. So it was really good. It is about Poppy, and she is the chosen, which means that she's going to ascend, because not everyone's chosen to ascend. She doesn't really want to ascend, and then it just goes into the backstory. It's political turmoil, and there's romance. So for those of people who like fantasy side, this is it. If for those of you guys who like romance, there's stuff in here too. For those of you guys who like smut, it's pretty tasteful. It's not super vulgar or anything like that. Like I said, 5 out of 5 stars. Feel like the only reason why you wouldn't like this is if you liked more literary fiction rather than like entertainment fantasy. Does that make sense? And then the second one in my wrap up is obviously the sequel. It was so good that I was like, oh, I definitely need to read my other books. And I was like, I should do it. And then I was talking to my friend Camille, and I was like, should I just read the sequel or should I continue my TBR? Because this is technically not on my TBR, but it was so good that I ended up reading this in 12 hours, the whole thing. I'm a fast reader. Yeah, 12 hours for the whole thing. I did not go to sleep, finished it the same day. I only stopped to eat and, do a couple chores, and then I went right back to it. It's really good because there's no more world building because it already set the tone in book number 1. And then from Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, it delved more into the background, and like I said, there's political turmoil, and then like there was a twist at it, and it was just so good. I wish I could give it more than 5 out of 5 stars. I wish I could give it 7 out of 5 stars, but I can't. And that's okay. I love it so much. I think it's my new favorite, especially since Crave used to be my favorite, and then I couldn't because the second book was kind of like a hit and miss for me. So the third one has already come out. Unfortunately, Amazon delayed mine. I'm gonna read it as soon as it gets here in a couple days, and then I'll review that one, and then that will decide where I'm at with that. But I was really scared that this one would be kind of the same way, where like maybe the second one would disappoint me, but it didn't. It was even better, and I immediately pre-ordered the third one, which is Of Gilded Ruins, I believe, and it comes out in April. I'm definitely gonna get it. I love it so much that I'm gonna do an extra video where I discuss it. So that'll come on Sunday because I can. The third one from my wrap up is A Dead of Night, which is a Thorn series by Emily Goodwin. It is a vampire story because I love vampire stories, and this was supposed to be like a contemporary romance. I gave it a 3 out of 5 just because it is not bad. It's not a horrible book. It's like, for me, it was like kind of like a trashy romance, and I don't mean trashy as in bad, but I mean like as an exclamation, where like, like maybe I had a really tough day, and I don't want something that's too hard-hitting, and I don't want something that will really make me think or depressed or anything like that. It's just like a cute read that I want, that's a really quick, that I can finish in a day. This would be that book. And it is about a girl named Callie who is a witch, and then she meets a really old 1,000-year-old vampire named Luke. There is a witch hunter going on. So there was a little bit of the murder mystery-ish, and there was a lot of romance, and there was like a lot of smut. It was just, the reason why I rated it 3 was just because it was just so fast-paced, and it kind of read like a fan fiction. Like, for example, in the very beginning when she meets Lucas, she was like, she doesn't like vampires at all, but she knows that Lucas is a vampire right away, and then she's like, but he's undressing me with my eyes. So that's kind of made me feel like this wasn't like a slow burn, and it was just so fast. Immediately their banter is just like, what do you look like with your clothes off? I want to play with your boobs kind of thing. which is totally okay because I love smut. But it was kind of more like comical in a way and had a lot of cliches, like where he was just like, don't die because because I love, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it read like a fan fiction. I felt like I've read it before with different names tagged on it. It was not bad though, but it is a series. I'm probably not gonna read the sequel. The last one is Lore. So I actually didn't do that too bad for my TBR. So for this one as well, I actually didn't finish this one. It has a lot of world building, and the thing is, I love mythology, so maybe that's the reason why I'm kind of iffy on it. It is a standalone. She changes the names of the family. If you look at the first page, the family lines and things like that, so it shows you what house each family is from, and it was a little bit confusing for me, and it was a lot of info dump for the first 100 pages. And I already acknowledged that I'm not a world builder, but it was just so much info dumping that I could not. I'm not saying I'm DNFing it. I'm still gonna try to read it because it does have pretty good reviews. But from what I see on Twitter and things like that, if I'm not liking it so far, there's a good chance I might not. And there's just so many other books out there that I want to read. I will attempt it again. So there's a chance that maybe later I'll be like, hey, I DNF'd it. And I read it again and I gave it another chance and it turns out to be really good. So I mean, especially from Blood and Ash, I almost did, but then it turns out to be really good. Here, it's just so much info dumping. I didn't even get halfway. Right now I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5, but I'll try again. It could just be not my type of book. Not enough for me to go on with romance and banter. It just seemed like a lot of political unrest. So that's it. That was pretty good. I did 4 books. I was supposed to read, I think there was another one on my TBR that I was supposed to read, but I did not. But I think that 3 out of, 5 books that I was supposed to read is not bad for book reading. Tell me what you guys think. Did you guys read anything that I read? Do you think I should continue reading Lore? Like, give it another chance? And then what did you read for February? I'm very, very interested because I want to have different types. I don't want to just keep reading vampire books as much as I love vampire books. And especially since I have so many books that I got for my birthday, so I definitely want to try those. I want to thank you guys so much for watching me. And again, I will definitely have a From Kingdom of Flesh and Fire discussion posted on Sunday soon. Thank you so much for watching me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!